Jeremy Fowler floated out the idea on the Rich Eisen show yesterday that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be aggressive either this year or next for a quarterback. He floated out the possibility that maybe they make a trade for their guy in 2025. And they say, let's see what could happen. Now they're fighting an uphill battle because they don't have a second round pick. But let's talk about the possibility of that actually happening, because I have also had those thoughts. I do not think that it's likely where we stand right now, but I am not going to rule it out, because the Steelers, as this progresses, are going to get more and more desperate. And while everybody sits around and says next year's draft's better, the Steelers are looking at how bad things are right now and how they will not give up on this season. And the best way to go about that is to probably add a quarterback that has starting quality talent. I don't think they'd make a move for Shedeur Sanders. I don't think that's an option. I don't think Shedeur Sanders is Pittsburgh Steelers material. He doesn't have the mobility. He doesn't have the arm strength. It's really if you could fit into our offense, Shedeur Sanders is a good quarterback. He's the Bo Nix of the draft. If he ends up in Cleveland, I think it's a good spot for Shedeur Sanders, because I think Kevin Stefanski is a great coach when it comes to making an offense for his quarterback. I think if he ended up in Tennessee, it'd be the same situation, but I find it very hard to believe that Cam Ward's not going to be the first pick in the draft. That dude is a stud, and he's the only guy that you look at and go, there's a more than likely possibility he turns out to be a superstar in this NFL draft. Jackson Dart and Tyler Shough are the two names that I'm watching, and I think it depends on how quickly these names come off the draft. I was talking to somebody last night, and somebody within the league, and there's a growing belief that Jackson Dart could end up in New York or Vegas with the third pick, with the seventh pick, could end up in New York with the Jets at the sixth pick, I think, or maybe the seventh, and the Vegas has the sixth. And that Tyler Shough could be the guy that comes in after him as that next big name off the board. Now, in the same conversation, we start talking about Tyler Shough. And there are a lot of scouts out there who I've spoken to, who others have spoken to, who think Tyler Shough is a first-round quarterback, who thinks that Tyler Shough has a better arm than anybody in this draft class, that can make all the throws better than anybody in this draft class, and who has mobility, whose injury history is the thing pulling it back more than anything else. I don't know if I fall under that belief, but we're not talking about what I believe. We're talking about what is possible for the Pittsburgh Steelers. If Jackson Dart goes in the top 10, man, depending on where they'd have to go, I do think the Steelers are interested enough in Tyler Shough to say, let's do something crazy. That something crazy would have to be moderate enough to maybe give up this year and next year's first round pick, and that's it. But I do think that if quarterbacks start flying off the board, the Pittsburgh Steelers could sit there and go, all right, we got to make a move. It's got to happen. If we don't have Aaron Rodgers, we have nobody. Let's make this a thing. I've been told that they're very comfortable with Mason Rudolph starting some games in 2025, but not all of them. And if you got to develop a rookie in the meantime and wait for him to be ready to start, okay, great. That's not Jalen Milroe. It might be Tyler Shough. It might be Jackson Dart. Who knows? But I think that as we get closer, you're going to hear rumbles, more and more talk about the Steelers being a team to watch to make a move for a draft or for a quarterback. Let's toss this trade out there. You go up to, I don't know, let's say 12, 13 maybe. I don't even know who has those picks. Can you look up who has those picks? And you offer your first round pick this year, your second round pick next year, and this is where it gets complicated, so I need to know who the picks are before I toss this out there.
12 is the Dallas Cowboys,
Beautiful.
Which I don't think they're trading out of anywhere, personally. And then 13 is the Miami Dolphins.
Why would the Dallas Cowboys not trade out of there?
Because the Dallas Cowboys love running backs, and that is the edge of where that running back is going to be. And you know who I'm talking about.
No. Ashton Genty gets out of the top 6, you think? You think he gets past Vegas?
If you're talking about all these quarterbacks going,
Only
somebody's
3
got
of
to
them.
fall.
Only 3 of them. Only
Yeah,
3 of them.
Somebody's got to fall, though.
You don't think New York's got Tyrone something, whatever his name is. Somebody's got to fall. Oh, dude, if Ashton Genty makes it to 12, wild times. Well, I'd go trade up for Ashton Genty. Screw a quarterback. I'd go trade up for Ashton Genty. If Ashton Genty makes it past Vegas, unless Jackson Dart's on the board, but I still think Shedeur Sanders is their guy. That would be nuts. That would be so nuts. Those teams from 6 to 11 would be passing up on the best player, second best player in the draft. That's what they would be, which would be so wild to me. All right, let's say who's 13?
13's Miami.
Who's 14?
14 is Indy.
Indy's a good one. Indy's a good one. Indy doesn't need a quarterback, but you want to know what they do need? You want to know what they'd be very open to? Maybe a wide receiver. Who's 15?
15 is Atlanta.
Oh, Atlanta definitely would love a wide receiver for good old Michael Penix, dude. Next to Drake London. I think that's a possibility as well. You toss in a first-round pick, a second-round pick next year, and the Pittsburgh Steelers say, hey, we'll toss in George Pickens. Let's go get our quarterback. And I think, as crazy as it sounds, as we get closer to the draft, packages like this will start getting talked about. And depending on who that team is, maybe. Depends on the growth of Tyler Shuck over the next month. But it's fast. It is moving so fast. I mean, Mel Kiper yesterday, again, said in a conference call with just like reporters saying, there could be 6 quarterbacks that go in the first round. 6 quarterbacks. That's insane. That's insane. The Steelers are expected to be one of those. He said that Tyler Shuck is the name. He said when asked, there were 2 questions about the Pittsburgh Steelers. The first one was Jackson Dart. Is he the guy for the Steelers? He said, I don't think he has any shot of making it to 21. Okay, who's the next guy? Tyler Shuck. Tyler Shuck's blowing up. Tyler Shuck's the name to watch right now. Tyler Shuck is the name that's going to come into the first round. Tyler Shuck's there at 15. You don't gotta give up that much to go up to 14, 15 from 21. You give up you give up your first and George Pickens alone and say, there it is. There's the move. I think that trade is, I don't think Tyler Shuck's the guy, but again, my opinion does not matter. If it's a possibility, that move gets you there. And that move would get you there. And trading George Pickens to move up for a quarterback should not be ruled out of the realm of possibilities. How bad of a decision is that?
If that happens, first of all, if they draft Tyler Shuck in the first round, no matter where they draft him, I'm not going to be happy. Okay. I don't want a 26-year-old rookie that has injury issues. I just don't. I don't. You have Mason Rudolph, who's barely older at this point, and who probably has the same upside in the NFL in my eyes. I understand that Tyler Shuck is moving up in the draft board, but that's because he's a shiny new toy out of Louisville. He is 26 years old. If I'm looking for the future, I'm not looking for somebody who should already be on his second contract. So drafting Tyler Shuck in the first place is not something that I'm looking forward to. If they trade up, include George Pickens in the trade to draft Tyler Shuck, I am formally writing a letter and a vote of no confidence for anybody that is currently inhabiting the Southside facility. That is a horrible decision. And if they do that, I think more people would be upset about that than if they just signed Aaron Rodgers.
Okay. You don't see any upside in Tyler Shuck?
Nope. Not in the first round. No, I would rather take Jalen Milroe in the first round. And you know, I've been against that. I would rather take Jalen Milroe in the first round than Tyler Shuck.
Okay. I think I disagree with that one, but I hear you. Opinion doesn't matter what we say. It matters what the Pittsburgh Steelers are thinking. And if there's a growing belief, and Fowler knows the Pittsburgh Steelers, if there's a growing belief that the Pittsburgh Steelers might do something crazy, Jackson Dart, they're not going to go get Shedeur Sanders. They're going to have no shot at Cam Ward. Although Rich Eisen tried to say, like yesterday, what if they just threw it all at the Tennessee Titans and said, let's go get Cam Ward, which I'd be all about. You want me to endorse a trade? Yeah. Give up this year's first round pick, next year's first round pick, next year's second round pick, and George Pickens, and then maybe this year's third, and go get Cam Ward. I'm about it. The Steelers could take a year and say, we're not drafting anybody. This is not going to be a good year for us, but the foundation's there. And a year from now, we're good to go. We could go you're going to have so many picks next year, so many picks. You could use your 2/3 to get back into the first round. Doesn't matter. You have options. I would be all about that. That would never happen in a million years. Never. I'm not going to rule out the possibility that Tyler Shough gets traded for by the Pittsburgh Steelers. I can't do it where we sit right here because they're cool, calm, and collected waiting for Aaron Rodgers. Today and April 27th are very different days. Very different days. What?
You're breaking my heart with all the Tyler Shough praise.
I'm telling you, I'm not praising Tyler Shough. I think Tyler Shough's good. I think he's much better than Jalen Milroe. I also think he's I think he's a better prospect if he wasn't 25 years old than Shedeur Sanders. I actually do think that. I think he's got a better arm than anybody in this draft class. But again, he's got injury history and is 25, and I don't know. I think you got to take all that into account when you're talking about these guys. But the Steelers, man, they might do something crazy.